Usiama mu nyina makwa ba yetra se na fe yedi enkomo ahodo na se na da di kan na se wo hwe dwumede ha smart Ghana update. Subscribe to your channel na fe wa like wa share na for so anya bi ahwe se mo do for my konkro Ghana ho yetra se na fe yedi ho enkomo se mo do a abeto dwa yetra so na yedi enkomo fa kese na efa Yewura Ken Ofori-Atta enkane o man mo foto samfo ne se mo do bia ababeto dwa nam so ama special prosecutor just what declare wanted and 17 na ba be bebrebe ni nyina corruption tansa hodo e abono ebi ene national cathedral ho sense ma fe ambulance ho engine no ne ade ni nyina ye tansa hodo a ye de abona ye guso a ehwehwemu hodo e koso abatodwa se Yewura Ken Ofori-Atta ade san hodo do nti o man kura na nya de se o wo man konkro Ghana pen for pinana obia etrumadwe no enam so ama ye member edema ye public interest advocate osan so a member edema ye alliance for a revolutionary change ye ma me Rodalin Imuru Ayana ono so na acha na adwene e afa ensem no wo che se kwan bia wo se fa so bia na Yewura Ken Ofori-Atta ba no be yi ensem no na wo se Yewura Ken Ofori-Atta eba no be yi ensem no wo de nchemu pina na de atodwa e fa tansa hodo a de abo Yewura Ken Ofori-Atta abusia yankode nti ensem hodo ye ma me Rodalin wo de atu edwane ye ba be transfer fe ye di ensem no enso eho enkomo.
Looking at the whole scenario, I figure that Ken left this country, I'm told, around 2nd January. That was whilst the Akufo-Addo administration was still on. So Akufo-Addo was still president.
That's right.
So he was able to go. And now we are being told by his lawyers that he has gone for medical treatment. He's out of the jurisdiction indefinitely. What does that mean? Going out of the jurisdiction indefinitely. So in very cool terms, he has absconded. That's what it means. So if the OSP is calling out on him to either avail himself or be declared a fugitive, I think it's in the right direction. We have read, because we're not part of government, but we have read and heard that almost all loans that were contracted in this country, his company, Databank, had a share in it. He benefited from our woes, so to speak. From what we're reading now, there were so many others. We're now looking at Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited.
That's right.
And we're looking at the ambulance purchase, the spare parts for ambulances. We're looking at the National Cathedral.
Indeed.
These were all public interest issues. People wanted to know more about how government was spending our money, about how government was dealing with people on our behalf. And it seems like Ken Ofori-Atta was in the midst of all this, and therefore we need for him to speak up and tell us whether what we are hearing, what we are thinking is what it is, or he has something else different from what we are thinking. Did Ken Ofori-Atta do the things that the OSP is accusing him of doing? That we wouldn't know until the case is opened up.
That's right.
But as a Ghanaian, I think that we owe it to ourselves to make sure that Ken Ofori-Atta is brought back to answer for all these things, because they did happen. And we all know, if for nothing at all, the pensioners, the retirees, those who brought up their monies and put up in bonds and stuff, we saw them.
Talking about the haircuts.
The haircuts. We saw all those things, that the effect it had on our populace. And therefore, we are willing to be patient enough for Ken to come back and tell us exactly what happened.
And Rodalin, bear with me. After that presser, his lawyers, Ken Ofori-Atta's lawyers, have said that he will avail himself. This is following that initial letter that indicated that he was sick and would be unavailable indefinitely. From that follow-up letter, it appears that maybe the OSP will not have to forcibly get him back onto Ghanaian soil, that he will avail himself. So we also watch that space to see what happens next. But you say he should come willingly and provide the much-needed answers that Ghanaians want.
Indefinitely. Keep that word. He has left this jurisdiction indefinitely. You understand? Which means he has gone. He's absconded. That's what they are trying to tell us. So unless we get him extradited back to this country, or we force him and do it the Umaru Diko way. I don't know if you ever knew head of Umaru Diko.
Umaru Diko.
Umaru Diko. Yes, in 1983, a Nigerian transport minister was wanted for corrupt practices. And he was put in a crate. He was kidnapped, put in a crate, and they tried to get him out of Stansted Airport in London.
Rodel, and surely you are not you are not advocating.
I am advocating that if you don't
you are not advocating that we cut our former finance minister in a crate.
I am advocating that.
Back home.
I am advocating that whatever way we will need to do to bring him back, we will bring him back. No one is going to take our money and run away with it. That's what I'm saying. No one. If it means creating him, we will create him. And we'll create anybody else who has run away with our money. That is something that everybody has to be aware of, that you cannot put a country to this level of poverty in the midst of plenty and you run away and go and sit somewhere. Do you know that the monies that we are talking about could have built world-class clinics and hospitals where he wouldn't need to be where he is seeking medical help? Do you know that? But he has left us. How many of us can go to Mayo's clinic in the US? How many of us? But he has been able to take our money, get a new organ for himself, and feel good enough to fly out of this country to America to get treatment. The rest of us can't. And so whatever it takes for us to bring him back through extradition, because I think that with the Trump government now, I don't think that Trump is going to be sitting there looking at an African minister who has embezzled funds in his country, allegedly embezzled funds in his country, coming to sit there and live posh. I don't think so. I think we can get him back. But I'm saying, if we cannot, we might have to do it the unconventional way. And that is creating him and bringing him back. If it's
right. There was any pa yokoti and a Rodal and a Imoro. Ayana, our year member at the a public interest advocate, and a face so member for a year member of Alliance of Revolutionary Change. Nene Anna Echaguya, near Transna Fee, the D and Seminole, and so a home and common.
Right. Me said to say, oh, Pelibu Aqua, you want some I had the jar, oh, Ghana, my moi. Ye papa. Ken Ofori-Atta. Yeah, and who could insenseme. And so no one could insenseme no. Your problem be all my friend self-creation as a one akofa who could trust him. So as a maybe a chemo and chair crime say metabu baby chill. Say a breach babewa and a janine. Fantastic. Nti if you are simply for a cat was say Sabuakoto. Or the amemene a so de yensa obu na pre ena onipa bia nso tana edu frupa nsema eto edoso Ghanaian politicians, African politicians, are greedy and selfish, wicked people adwumbonefo na edru kwasiada na ma sabobo white ya kwatra so dem shirawo okono Obinim su a wo tigufu aka se chese obofo sane esi abakato okura nan anu na okosurens adwumbone wo bibini trim o cheke anya sanketo ye nyina ye nipa, we are fallible, we are not angels. Even abofo okura say the Bible no na kan obo amsomboa sabofo okura furu so betwempena and nya there that is debatable one day bedwendwen ko so obofo ba ko gina wa so otie ni ya abofo na betwempena mo ye de ahibia na ya abofo ma santefo ana abofo bi adabo mun cruise entino ye nyina ye nipa ye nyina edi boni de bad boni bi wo ho a menka entume ho aya na mo sympathy ana empathy emanipa chese mi so obi ho kire na emsa ka menye de metu chese ade kakra bi kwa na se mantumi anya me na se ha me na so ye politicians here atwempone sika fa kobua na ye korakora daduase na munye kwa na sako ye pono de ye bibi ameka sa se afre bibi Robin Peter to pay Paul Njakabia go we sika kwa no ni consulency ana na kurase ofri no ebi wakobi adwuma bi kwa nkofo ebi akanya ya wie sika no ne da fa slay queens Adom akota Dubai Hawaii ene de kika ho ne ye disika no me I don't have problem with obi chimpana because eno so kan abrabo ho so what I say na mo so be wie sika wo be kokoto oman foto no to ayabo anu de gu oman foto ma be kokoto foto no to ayi foto no to no de kodi to achi de ene ana mo problem no na ka wo ye wadwuma ene sabi nkofo be se kakuru katie kakuru nkotie de sa ne man nti za aja wo twa ho ko akobia pa ha mu mini hawo na mo nwi oman sika nkoye sa de no menka say honorable Ken Ofori-Atta wawia because you say man is not guilty until proven guilty.
Yeah.
Se si ayeka said the allegations and speculations. Obien to establish say wawia sika. Niema akoso na ekire say kan proye ne katasehye ebi akoso. Which sabi enya do sabi ekronto. Ni frani kura nim say National Cathedral hon samde abanya watwa mukoyi ontumi nkase kankan enima nye. They will not say that because untumetu amuna donko we na no meka kire wo say apart from see ntumi ansi cathedral na eno ye ka ba ko eda ho.
Yeah.
Apart from your friend saying what's the word? No kwamo ye no eno kwa hoka 35 architectural impression no drawing keke no 35 million dollars. Now do you know what $5 million can do for this country? Na sa ne mo nyina koso eno sa da nchen a adan a na ye judge for dan ye dwirgu ye dan na ba ko bi koso ye sen international cathedral do bi ntun ka say aban a watwam kono corruption bi enim na emume sanse ye nya nche nipa no ema court nkyere say anas ye nya hwemu hunu say ampa ska wie because unze sika say ye de ohum yenu ye wo de wani ana ho a wa say sika emre say me papa ma me nua a odi bachi e de adwa bi hye ne nsasa akade da bi a hosu ohwema no ema oto cement gu ho no obenya nkwanhia me nua no benya nkwanhia ma cement ni gu dem ekeki ye say uze cement gu cha na keki ekeki say eno sa anye so wadi sika no wabo abusuan ne ka ana wabo papa ne ka ba wani bibi da asi eno wo ho na imo de wasada sa de kwankwamias me na kan kwankwamias ene ne kodiomo suwe ade sika bi tutu sika bi so ana wo shada kreti ade bi sa de wuye bi no adi musika na no asam ne ye kan enti say mami advocate yi kan no Ken Ofori-Atta se ni trimu fanya ya se tanon chewo ba bi otabia so nim se woni sika dia ene ten omra meyi na no na ne lawyer sa oso wo no o be prove ne ho se de kan ne nokore na sa ne kodema suwe na o me yare khrem no aduro na me abanya oba
eno na no bi ka se na agenda 111 na musimusi na den na sa hospitals na mbosi no onko jaare
o no podie ja cancer sa da na 111 no podie na nsen na eba ena no kwa so se de Uganda ya de mo wie dodo na etian podie tu fankasa but what about so called or the infamous your friend is saying University of Ghana Medical Center is where nya mo so ma brigade ko ayi Rich Hospital is where nya mo so ma brigade nya mo na mo so ma CC new hospital akase a ultramod de broche standard data we are broche I am training as a enya hospital nyo pa bonsa do tia obi esa na easy ana so a public holder nanu speaker ya ote ayi hod mo yi ababa be nanu ya obatra so nanu ya 2020 year DC so say speaker of parliament wan kasa okọ ayi Dubai akọ ho ya de ya anya ya de bi according to yesterday brother na show mula hola bi sa ne manema ene ya de ben enso no mpa so moko eti ande omu nyina abekronsa eti bi de so Ken Ofori-Atta fi say onwi esika bia de a omra wa amade a ene de maame no e ka no ene mfanya adwuma na kwa bia so International Court of Justice kraba mu a emrem no omra meyi ne ho ano de bia no abofita na ya no akotu eti ameka kire wo se enhwe obi kwasi ada sori a woko enka so ye kristoni I'm telling you honestly kristo somo no aboa pa no kurani aboa ye asanso ye de ewu pa because obi tiponi oya so wo de me boa nyame hwe o mse nyame de okukuo mo agya aso bi kama kasa me boa nto ankume anka aji akwa ba ko nde kedeti ho ando hume o se ni on the fire Some papa bi dey wati ade yon ankasa nto go se anto anhume. Ana se basa boduan for frafe na pana gina ho. So, enti Kristo so di aboa yen. Do say obi say o, bo aboa yen san kabrofo no ma ye dwen yan ka bedwen. Bibini ankasa de yagimi, omugya ya kura ka entuma nwene because ejapade anyankropon trade ampo de ama ye nyina chi. Nye sa akọ IMF kwajibosia na bibini agene wen. Kwame Nkrumah see so say black man is capable of managing his own affairs. Kwame Nkrumah ko say be predia so na chi no. Ayabasa. Divya me can Africa is not rich, it's not poor. And so nay Africa be poor. Be one African country. One way to me I didn't who say I didn't send a pork gami mono his friend say but also ammonia still here the American Gaddafi kura so I'm gonna say more try some baby near the idea. But apart from that, African country be also me dem na me dem ho. Ye tumi nwene because atwem pone no do so na no kwase jimi we ya mo so wan Guinea not Guinea ya jama me say Guinea one of the countries of free akonwa so a ye kohoye no na ne mansion awasi no uwura edan ba ko na ubie wodropo na sika edwiri ba so me say ubie wodropo ubie edan na pono no a na sika edwiri begu so ubie jiwe eyo say wodropo na jiwes na edwiri begu so uso na manko he garage nko no na ka mono a ya ntremu da ebi on ma Ford Mr Ford Hammer stretch ya na board din nesi why and amfa ka kwa so da bibinye chimia ma cheso odine ho kura na ahwa bakasa tie nya me say na anya bia papa kura na tie be no de boy because wo de ye hwe ya Ghana ha politicians here wo he me kan nan Kwame despite Dr. Kwakuten enies ka fo binum omso onfaso 200% better than a politician so mo man ha o bakasa na me kasa Kwaku be Angel Group of Company. Angel Group of Company. No na chayon. Aso san ABN network. Beside these companies, okabomwa nipa se na dema offer omo. The two companies. Two companies no. Broadcasting and the industries no okabomwa enyuma se na o create. Hwe Dr. Despite. Kwame Despite. Peace FM from Despite Media. She non kwa da nchen a hwe this way hwe special eyes hwe youth look at that what's it
best point
hwe banking sector wom and she is a politician so mu krom han mu ko da nya me ko hwe ko yisle gon ko kwa pe se kwa pe no mo do mo nya kire aya buri ko toton sase sisi manchester gugum afide su kasa kabakata mo ma me ba bi pa enti de Ken Ofori-Atta so yare a wada man America kra yare de obi mfa nse nipa ene mobia so mompa so ongu se na papa kura sini no keka se ukura ko ebonu tuoku na kasi ya ubonu tuoku na sikara beba ene ata nyansa ofom so ya mompa so ongu na emom onya ho de nemo ye twen na so of the wakadre na ya mompe Donald Trump chikwan na so America yenu na se e fara ka go play kura mo fa na nguram na mo fa na mra so African country mon satisfies nam ko nu papa na semfa no nko a opipia wa disika bia wo manmia Ken Ofori-Atta nko a o Ofori-Atta kra de nko hwe na mu nketo because oba se atu de $1 million go go ni dem 300,000 euros go ni dem ni plus other cities go ni dem de wi akamporo no omo ye hwemu na me ya pa sama otumi atra homa kan Ofori-Atta what me we are from akwa amantumi anche no
I think there's what call somewhere second general
okay sabra na bana na daso aben ayi manu gege afa akwa friends ayi Mustafa Bandi and friends
Mustafa Bandi NDC
ba ku bi na no de e beto aba na o ko mama no post bi oh bro also the bibi da bi sabi jam fi okura muslim na bi basintele mama krek ma trama ko ya ayi afa ho de ko fe na ma de enko fa ngo fa free na mra obi gane free the chrome ko free bi political asylum so odi bi mo so odi fo we gane agi asem ni mu du pan sana watumi abut watra hia ko fa na ba nje mistake ntire ma me no kan de ekwan bia so Ken Ofori-Atta mra no me face so ba no difo a emra ni ne do di akire bi nsunsun a na this was one your imagine say ya bantia say ye taga ye when this was some ya kronfo pa e bi wo ho a ye ni o masa nso nyina mo hwe mo fra ne hu some ye justice ai sa de a o ma ne nkona nim
right abusia la isa na fe fa comment section ase FMI yakram